Today, we are embarking on yet another adventure. An adventure into Burnaby.
That's quite enough.
Okay.
Okay, you ready to go? Ready to start?
Yeah.
You ready to get going over here?
Okay. Hello.
Oh, man.
Man, oh man.
Yeah, here we are.
What a lovely packed weekend. Every time it's a long weekend, I'm like, yeah, this is what life's about. More rest.
Life would be a lot better if we had long weekends all the time.
No, then it would normal out and it would be like, work 3 days a week?
No, I still think it would be better. I still think, though, it would be like, yeah, you wouldn't go back.
No.
You know?
Never.
You would complain. People would complain about it. They'd be like, long weekend, blah, blah, blah. But then it's like, yeah, but you go back to working 5 days a week? And
Absolutely
people would be
not.
like, absolutely not.
No. We already have trouble
rather
going
kill my own kids.
Easy.
Yeah. Long weekend. Every time it's a long weekend, I'm like, oh yeah, we need more. We only get 11 a year. Only
a little bit of relaxation. I need more relaxation.
That's not enough. That's not enough.
Is it the least amount compared to other countries?
It's more than America. I'm sure more than plenty of countries, but much less than a lot of European countries.
Now they know how to relax.
Yeah.
They like it the long way.
Been saying that all weekend.
Long weekend.
Yeah, this is a long weekend. But we're not talking about long weekends, but we are talking about the failures of America. And I think in this tense political atmosphere that we have currently with the United States,
my God,
this is a film that I think can bring people together.
I fully agree.
It's called White House Down.
We're covering a documentary today.
It's a documentary about January 6th called White House Down.
It's Magic Mike Independence Day.
Yeah.
And we love it here.
It's the sequel to Collateral, where the taxi cab guy became the president.
It's Air Force, but on the ground.
Air Force One on the ground. It's directed by Roland Emmerich, the director of the masterpiece known as Stargate, 2012.
Mm-hmm.
Day After Tomorrow, I think.
Godzilla.
Oh, yeah? Yes. What is your favorite Roland Emmerich film?
You know what? I was going to be ready for this question, so let me pull this up.
Yeah. Obviously, everyone knows my love of Stargate, so I would definitely say Stargate. But I have a real soft spot for and Independence Day is great, too. Yeah. Independence Day is a legit good film.
Yes, Independence Day is
I have a real soft spot for 2012, though. I think 2012...
Yeah.
2012 also is a film that the first 10 minutes of it are almost identical to this film. A divorced dad trying to make good for his kids.
Yeah.
Which happens in 50% of all blockbuster films.
That is true.
In which a man is the main character. Yeah.
My God. I remember Godzilla was the first movie I saw as a kid in the cinemas.
It's pretty dope.
And it got me ready for a world of terror in New Delhi. You know what I mean? I was like, everywhere I go, I will now find Godzilla eggs.
Yeah. The eggs are all up in Madison Square Garden.
Dude, he was in my brain.
Yeah.
And so grew up watching his films. Independence Day definitely up there. And then like a close second is Day After Tomorrow.
I like Day After Tomorrow a lot. I think it's like the precursor to 2012. 2012 is like the balls out version of Day After Tomorrow.
Yeah.
And shockingly even like less feasible. But I really enjoy 2012 as a film. I like Godzilla's bad, but there's aspects of it that I really enjoy.
Yeah.
And I have such strong because I saw it really young too. And I have like such strong memories of it. And I think like there's a scene in it when Godzilla, the titular monster, is like first coming out of the water, and there's a guy fishing on a dock, and he sees this like wave coming towards him, and it's Godzilla swimming, and then Godzilla like hits the dock, and the dock starts like blowing up and flipping all in the air, and this fisherman's running on the dock. It's like a really cool scene.
Oh
it's
my
like
God.
a cool idea for a 1998 film.
I don't think I've seen it since 1998.
Oh, it's worth a rewatch.
Shit.
Yeah.
It's time to revisit it as an adult
Yeah.
and be even more impressed because that's how I work.
I mean, hello. But yeah, Stargate and Independence Day is like an incredible 1-2 punch of films, I think, in my opinion.
Oh, hell yeah. It's so great how every other movie that he does is just about, yes, the American industrial military complex and its many failings because it's so egoistic about itself.
He's German, too.
Yes.
And he's the counterpart to Michael Bay, except Michael Bay is definitely like, well,
USA.
the military is pretty dope.
Yeah.
And also I want cool toys, so I want I want to not criticize them.
Of course.
Whereas I find like Roland Emmerich has like a lot more, despite making Independence Day. He is German, right?
Yeah.
Because it's shocking to be like a German-made Independence Day.
Oh my God. And also like the greatest fucking speech and like such good like rousing moments to only be like, well, the aliens only got here because you couldn't get your shit together, America. And like one guy had to come in and be like, come on, guys, we can independence ourselves.
Yeah. We can go independent.
You couldn't come together as a nation under leadership of multiple like smart people, and you had to do it at like an emotional level with one guy.
Do you think that this movie is like a response to like, it's like Roland Emmerich got radicalized against the American project after so many years
100%
like toiling in Hollywood, and then
yes
and then he was like, actually, I'm very critical of America.
For sure. And he's like obviously telling the people, look how fucking satisfied this country is with itself. It's so smug in its like confidence and its like ability to overcome anything because it thinks it's the biggest nuclear power in the world. But all easy, we could just storm your most important building so you eat shit.
Interesting. I think this movie is like, it's positive towards like the individualistic nature of like Americans. Like the president as this singular character who takes control of their destiny.
Yeah.
And is just like so like sexy and virile, a lot like the current American president. And I think it's Jamie Foxx just reminds me of Donald Trump. They're so similar.
Parallels are
and
uncanny.
The parallels are uncanny. It's uncanny to be like how prescient this film was in 2013 when it was like, oh yeah, the next couple presidents, they're going to be 90 years old.
My God.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
They would get fucking domed immediately if this film happened. But like, yeah, he's like positive about that aspect. And yet it's like the film itself is like, yeah, it's kind of about like the deep state and it's JFK. It's like, it's
all over fucking
it's
again,
being
man.
Like, yeah. And I don't know. It's just an interesting kind of, it also, you know what I thought watching this movie, which is like, no offense to all of the nations I'm about to talk about, but like we don't get this anymore where films made in America are like, fuck Iran. Like,
oh yeah.
Like
they don't like
that. Do you remember Red Dawn? What happened with that Red Dawn remake?
No, tell me.
Okay. When was it? It was around this time, 2013-ish. Some company remade Red Dawn. And Red Dawn, the original, is about like the Soviets, I think, invading America, like on the ground.
Yeah.
And it's like an alt history kind of thing. I haven't seen the original Red Dawn. I don't fucking know.
Mm-hmm.
But I know that this one, they were like, well, let's update it for the time. Who's the big bad communist? China. And then the Chinese government was like, you cannot show this film in our theaters. And we, in fact, are like, we're really, really politically angry about this.
Really?
And so the movie, they were like, let's change it to North Korea. And so they re-edited the film to change all of the logos and insignia and stuff to North Korea because apparently, like, North Korea, they're like, well, yeah, fuck those guys. But that's like, I think this is like a direct corollary to when you like Top Gun Maverick.
Yeah.
How they're like, the enemy is so bad. And it's like, where are they? They're
around us.
They're like in this valley.
Yeah.
And you're like, whoa, they must be really bad for hanging out in a valley.
Oh my
It's like,
God, yeah, there's no mention of a country.
You won't believe it either. They have a thing underground. You're like, fuck, that means they're villains. They're villains because they have a thing underground, and it's a bad thing underground. And like lots of movies just like can't do that anymore. It's like also similar if you look at, I think there's this like political stuff when you look at Arrival.
Yeah.
A lot of people mention that was the idea that the Chinese swoop in because the Chinese film box office is like a nut that Hollywood wants to crack because I don't know if you know this, but there's a ton of Chinese people and they love movies. They have their own cinema culture over there too, which I don't know a lot about, but also getting a film that can be released in China is great for your box office because just simply the numbers is like just so, you know, 100%. Getting a film to break there is a big deal. And Arrival has this kind of thing where it's like, and I'm not criticizing Arrival for this, but where the Chinese general kind of swoops in, General Zhang, and saves the day. The Martian has the same thing too. Yeah. The Chinese come in and they kind of also save the day too in that, which is totally fine. I get it. We all want in trying circumstances around the world, like if 12 alien ships land and you got to learn how to speak their language. Yeah. I think we all need to cooperate in that situation as a world, but it's just an interesting byproduct, and that's all the fault of Red Dawn, the remake of Red Dawn, a movie that sucked and no one liked anyway. Like it's like not even the controversy was like, oh, this movie's all right. It was just dumb. No. But this movie, and ultimately I think that they don't actually end up being like Iran fucking sucks, but they do strictly name Iran and be like, we want there's a cabal within this government that wants to fucking nuke Iran. Dude, it's shocking to hear it. Yeah. Now, when you watch it, because we don't think of enemy nations as like, not really, no. As like, well, it's a pretty peaceful place now. I mean, oh my God, it's almost like saying India or something. Like we gotta bomb the shit out of India. Like it's a little jarring to kind of hear it. Although, look, like I know that you're just soon becoming a Canadian, and they'll tell you this when you become Canadian, but Lithuanians, they can fucking go to hell. In a deep conflict with the Baltic states. Sorry, Baltic. Yeah. Oh and my God. We're just lucky because there's only 10,000 of them. But I mean, you ever met one? I can't wait. They're all like pierogies. No, I don't know. I've been to Lithuania. It was good. It was a nice place. Not really, but it was all right. It had nice aspects to it. It was the city I was in. I don't think was particularly nice, but the capital is supposed to be really beautiful. I don't mean that Lithuania. I know we got tons of fans over there. Oh my God. I know you guys hang out with Ridley Scott and Ramel Ross and listen to our pod, but yeah, like it's. Especially at that time, 2013, it's like there's still troops in the Middle East and stuff, which is part of this film, big thematic part. But you never really think like you think of the war in Iraq, but it's like Iraq isn't the evil nation. Yeah, Iran was really surging as like America's bugaboo at that time, and then interestingly, I think. When I think of Top Gun Maverick, and I've heard other people say this too, this isn't like a theory that I all thought of. When I think of Top Gun Maverick, lots of people speculated, I think, that they're like, the enemy is probably Iran, but they didn't want to say that because it's like that movie is so just like, fuck them. Like, fuck. Oh, it like spells it out, is quite vicious about it. But also, at that time, or like with the first Donald Trump term, like the brinksmanship with Iran was so prescient on the American psyche, I think, at the time, because Donald Trump drone struck like a general just for fun. And oh boy, they just seem to be like what a time. Yeah. Well, we live in it. Holy we're in the middle of it, but like they just seem to be the one at the forefront of but in 2013 it was like who are we gonna? Which country on the fucking axis of evil, as George W. Bush would say? Oh my God! Are we gonna choose? And this time it's Iran. But Jamie Foxx, good president. He's like,
So
I don't
charming.
want to be in a fight with Iran. I want us all to work together.
He's a huge nerd for saying that.
Yeah.
And so this is why it happened to him.
Serious beta energy.
Well, it's so funny because they make him out to be kind of a cuck, right? They're like, oh, put your glasses on and read a
From
book.
your
Why
mouth
don't
to
you?
God's ears.
Sorry.
Have you seen his Jordans, man? That guy's fucking popping off.
Well, like as it starts, right?
Yeah.
Nobody really gives him the respect that you would give an American president because he doesn't look intimidating.
But he's also like being soft.
He is, which is the least desirable trait for an American president. You don't want to be perceived as soft. You don't want to be seen as soft.
For like 50% of the country, the 50% of the country is like, I won't vote for no cuck. Like,
Yeah.
But
Yes.
and I agree. Like a world leader, you want to be. I guess they want to portray them as powerful. But like, yeah, I see what you mean.
And it's so easy. And it's not even me. It's actually the poet Chapel Roan, as she called it. The apple is rotten to the core.
Yeah,
And that is what we find in the White House. Is that all the betrayal is coming from?
It's the call is coming from inside the house.
From inside
James
the house.
Woods.
Damn.
Famous Republican James Woods.
Did he also take it from Chapel Roan or?
Yes. They
Also poets.
Woods and Roan are so similar that it's hard to really distinguish the two art forms.
I can't. Yeah.
The Woodsian and the Ronian form.
The Ronian
They're
art.
very similar. Sometimes when I'm watching the animated film Hercules, I'm like, is that Chapel Roan doing Hades' voice?
And then I
when
start doing the dance, and it's like, wait a
Chapel
minute.
Roan was almost certainly not born by that at that time, I think. But
Her spirit is alive
Yeah.
and well. Hell yeah.
yeah. Chapel Roan was born on 9/11.
Was she fucking?
I don't know. It seems like it. It seems like it, but I don't know.
These youths.
I always thought. Do you remember? Okay, you remember Euphoria, right?
Yeah.
The show.
Yeah.
You remember how, like, at the beginning, there's like Rue, Zendaya's character, like gives this monologue about like growing up in the kind of like era of 9/11,
Yeah.
but meaning like she was born in 2001.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, motherfucker, we had to see it.
Yeah, dude. Don't even start.
You were a baby for most
Don't
of the
even
time of
start.
the era of 9/11.
Yeah.
And I was like, sorry you were born on 9/11, but also it was like a lot of other people had to like watch. First they had to watch 9/11, and then they had to live through the rest of 9/11.
Then they had to
Yeah.
watch a pregnancy come to fruition.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I think Cliff Notes to all that is I think that Gen Alpha should die.
Oh my God. No.
Just so I can get a 4-day work week.
And full circle.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it.
But yeah, like I kind of actually enjoyed this movie. It's not great.
Dude, yes.
Um
It's your first time watching
first
it.
time watching it.
Yeah.
And I truly think it's the film that America needs right now
Yes.
to believe. you know?
Yes, it needs to resurface again. Every year they need to bring this back and give more, inadvertently give more people the idea that you too can make your dreams come true by storming the Capitol.
Yeah.
You and your son and your grandson, you can all do this deed.
This is it. It is like we were talking about it yesterday with a friend, and like the intersection of pop culture and conspiracy theory is so fascinating because
Tight.
like when you think of like January 6th, you're just like, oh yeah, they must have just like watched this and been like, we could do it in some way.
Yeah, dude.
They're like much less organized, but the idea of like you have someone on the inside who can help you and stuff, but it's also kind of like, it's so interesting. I just feel like this movie like really inspired that movement.
It definitely pushed it along and made it more glamorous.
Sorry, by movement I mean that great day in American history is what I meant. Just yeah, you know.
We also, I more recently saw The Order on Prime.
Yeah, I was talking about it last episode.
Yeah.
I believe I hadn't finished it, but it was a good film.
It fucking really, what's up, Jude Law?
Yeah,
Jude Law
he's so good in it.
committing lawful activities.
Yeah,
Where, again, they talk about how almost too easy it is to just storm the Capitol because there's so much literature about, hey, step 1, do this. Step 2, do that.
that movie is so like what I loved about it, besides just the like dripping atmosphere, and Jude Law's like fucking looks like his face is going to explode from all the tension he's carrying. But like, what I like about that movie is that it's so meant to be very about a lot that's like happening today, and it does accomplish that, I think, in interesting ways, because like a lot of the movement of white supremacy has been boiling since the mid 1900s in America. Like this, the order is set in the 80s, and it's like they're talking about like the Turner Diaries and stuff, which was something that like the alt-right was into and all that kind of stuff, all up until now. In that movie, you're so meant to be like, what does this film say about today? And I'm just like, I mean, it says so much, but also it's just such a good movie. Like that I'm like, I don't really care. Because like, but it's very prescient in its kind of exploration of the white power movement and things like that. I thought it was very cool.
And how it's not going anywhere. It just grows and grows and grows, and we give room for it to grow and grow.
You know what? I listened to this audiobook called Black Pill by Ellie Reeve, and she's a reporter. She used to work for Vice, and then she worked for CNN, and she would like interview alt-right people. And then she was like at the Charlottesville rally. She like filmed a documentary there. Like she was at January 6th. Like she talked directly to these people, and she would make journalistic relationships with them so that they could be sources for her, kind of thing. And one of the things that she says in that book, which I found really interesting, when she was like the like it's not like the most positive thing, but one of the most comforting things you can take away from like white supremacist movements and Nazi, like modern Nazi movements, is that a lot of them all boil down to a single person, and their whole like philosophy is me get more power. And so they're so what's the word? They're so like concerned with infighting more than they are with actually having a unified movement. So a lot of them fall apart in that way. And that book is really interesting because like, and I didn't know this for sure, but it's about from like the kind of the beginning of the alt-right through to like January 6th. But how after Charlottesville, which is a horrible event, the alt-right as a movement kind of fell apart and fractured into so many different things. And then like QAnon and just straight up other racism took over, but it was a less unified movement.
Ooh.
And then January 6th is this big clusterfuck of a thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, but like that's also part of that film. The Order is kind of like concerned with that as well, right? Because Nicholas Holt's character, he fractures away from the guy who's like the Reverend.
Yeah.
And that it ultimately leads to his downfall because he wants to accelerate the fucking
too fast
to the day of the rope kind of thing. And
right.
It's a really dark film, but yeah.
And how fucking smart the way they showed that, because the guy who's clearly the one in charge is someone who's even more rooted in the system, because he says the only way to do it is to rise through the ranks, like in the White House, or rise through the ranks politically, so that you get all the way to the top to then make a difference.
Yeah.
And not just have these one-off like passion killings, of people
of radio hosts like they do to poor Mark Maron in that film.
Which you know, man, Mark Maron, fucking sometimes you gotta hold me back, fucking Mark Maron.
But that's thematically what this film has, is that this film isn't concerned with white supremacy, but it is concerned with the fact that like James Woods has like he was already in the ranks, and then this thing happened where his son was this film has such a weird twist where it's like, oh, his son was killed on this operation in Iran.
Yes.
But then James Wood was like, no, I'm so happy he died.
Yeah, but I don't want him to die in vain.
I want you to finish killing Iran.
Yeah.
And like, yeah. It's
what
so
the
like
fuck?
cutthroat and wild, but
oh
yeah.
my God. But they do get like the most fucking beefiest idiotic guy who is kind
Jason
of a
Clarke?
white supremacist, right? Who crazy hair, he's like in a vest, he's just like
which one? Oh, the guy with the mustache?
Yeah.
Oh, he's just a sideshow. Jason Clarke is like ultimately it's like you think Jason Clarke is like the leader to get Jimmy Simpson in to delete the White House or whatever the fuck he's doing. And then it turns out that James Woods has like masterminded the whole thing.
Yeah.
Which you find out about midway through the film. But yeah, I quite enjoyed this movie.
Me too.
I actually, you know what was just so wild? This scene where they're in the limo and they're just riding around on the White House lawn.
Yeah.
I was like so engrossed in this film that I was like, man, this action sequence is so bananas. We have to be nearing the end of the film. And that's about halfway through.
Yeah, dude.
And I was like, how much more can they give me?
How could they possibly... My God, they go through the tunnels. There's quote unquote, these tunnels don't exist in the White House tunnels for a good 20 minutes. Like there's so much tunnel activity.
Just one note though that I thought about with all of this like White House intrigue. Channing Tatum, fine actor. I like the guy. I think he's fine in this. But should he be switched out with Nicolas Cage from National Treasure? So he could be like, yeah, this tunnel here. It's been here since 1776. They built the White House on this tunnel to hide things.
It would be an exponentially better movie with Nicolas Cage. It would be fucking bananas cuckoo with Nicolas Cage.
Tatum is so hit and miss for me. You know,
I mean,
I like
he's
the guy.
charming. Like he's
very
it's
charming.
Like quality,
he's very funny.
Great comedic timing. Like he's good for a film like this. I think he needs to be with another, maybe a younger counterpart. Maybe the president is Jonah Hill. I'm not opposed to it.
Jamie Foxx, one of her great living actors. I'm not in love with him playing the straight man in this. Yeah. I think he's too straight down the line in this film. Even though he's had great performances where he's a straight man, like in Collateral, I think. But like, because Jamie Foxx is such a talented comedic actor too, you want him to be a little whacked.
Exactly.
But then Tatum has to kind of carry that, and it doesn't quite work for me.
No. And then poor Joey King is like, fine, I'll carry this film.
Yeah, Joey King is like fucking amazing.
She's like all of like 12 years old probably.
She spent hours a day training to wave a flag.
That's and boy, her whole does talent. She fucking King of America, Joey King.
And then you have fucking like, no offense to this movie and stuff, but Maggie Gyllenhaal feels like she's like,
bro.
I mean, I got paid a lot. Like such a weird.
Maggie Gyllenhaal just phoning it in.
I love Maggie Gyllenhaal a lot, and she's not. It's not like she's never done a bad film, but she does feel like weirdly overqualified for this, and she's good in it. Like but yeah, and then, like. My favorite character is Lance Reddick, though, because he's just like, I said this when we were watching, is he's just like, they're like, sir, the White House has been invaded. He's like, good. I dream of this happening every moment of every day because my work is so boring. He's like, I want to be in charge here. And then people are like, no, you have to listen to the vice president. He's like, God fucking damn it.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Like, we're going to nuke Iran. He's like, I'm all on board for that. It's like, if the president tells me to do it, I will do it as long as I get out of the monotonous life of being a general.
I'm ready for a change.
He's so fantastic, man.
Yeah, dude. I think, oh my God, now you've put Nick Cage in my head and I can't unsee it. It's just a superior film with him.
I mean, yeah.
Oh my God. Who would be a president? Harrison Ford. Harrison Ford, Nick Cage.
But then he did fucking Air Force One. Harrison Ford's not going to do this.
Oh yeah, you're right.
He would have. His response would literally be like, "I did this on a plane once, and then hang up on."
Not do it on the ground again.
I'm not going to do it on the ground. He's like, I was already in fucking Captain America,
Shit,
World
right.
Police, and I just which that movie is apparently bad. The new Captain America.
Fuck, dude. Oh God. Okay.
Yeah, heard bad things about it. It's the Craven of the Hunter of bad movies. Yeah, like Cage, I see what you mean, because like someone commensurate in kind of age with Cage would be, but
Bruce Greenwood. Nope, he already did the national.
Did that,
fuck's sake. Okay,
like, yeah, but Jamie Foxx is like, also, we're talking like the Obama era. He just gets reelected the year before,
right?
And it's kind of like, what if we still had a black president, but he was a little cooler than Obama?
Sam Jackson.
See, no, but then you can't have Sam Jackson be like
suave.
I fucking got it. You want Sam Jackson to pop off, right?
Yeah.
But you want someone who's like straight down the line.
Yes.
I got it. This is gonna blow your mind. Don Cheadle.
Dude.
Don Cheadle.
Well done. Roland, call us. Where's my phone? Emmerich, I have something to say. Holy shit. Don Cheadle, Nick Cage,
Yeah.
president and security guy.
Yeah. I know, right?
That is the film.
Yeah.
That is the film.
It'll be like the best Hotel Rwanda meets fucking National Treasure.
White House,
it's the
every
movie-
direction.
It's the movie we've all been waiting for.
Yay.
You ever see Hotel Rwanda?
Good God, no, man.
Oh, that movie's good, but it is
fucking
sad.
hard.
Yeah.
It's hard to watch. Yikes.
Yeah.
I try not to think about that film actively.
Well, you have seen it.
Only in parts, only in bits.
Okay.
Not like, yeah.
Because
Not-
you said no.
No, so not to completion. You know what I mean? Like every time I start watching, I'm like, oh no, I can't.
Do you want to know what happens in the end?
Yeah.
There's a genocide. It's really awful. Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, that is a good movie though. But yeah, Don Cheadle, Nick Cage, recasting. Might as well do a remake of White House Down, reboot it. So, do you know the interesting thing about the competition with this film between this and another movie?
No, tell me.
Oh, you didn't read? Did you do any research at all?
I'm hanging. I'm here for vibes. You know how we do.
You're bringing the talent. Yeah,
I got
yeah.
thoughts.
You're coasting on vibes. Well, I'm fucking trying to research
Busting
this
your
film
ass.
that no one fucking has anything to say about. So this movie comes out. I found this actually really interesting. Comes out the same year as another film, which is the same film called
Oh yeah, yes.
Olympus
okay.
Has Fallen.
Olympus Has Fallen.
starring
yes.
Gerard Butler, directed by
Yeah.
Antoine Fuqua.
Mm-hmm.
And both these films were much like Sudden Impact, Deep Impact, and Armageddon. They were racing to, see, to get into theaters, get into production, to get cast, to get into production, and then get into theaters. They basically shoot all kind of at the same time. They have a release. Weirdly, the weird thing was White House Down was originally slated for a November 2013 release.
Okay.
Like they were like, yeah, this one is probably going to get nominated for Best Picture, I think.
Oh my God.
But then they pull it up to June. Olympus Has Fallen comes out in March 2013.
Yeah.
They have almost identical Rotten Tomatoes receptions, 50 and 51%.
Yeah.
Olympus Has Fallen makes $170 million worldwide. And White House Down makes 205.
Mm.
And yet, Olympus Has Fallen spawned two other movies from the same series.
Dude.
Yeah. Very
oh my
weird.
God. Olympus Has Fallen is also more dour. It's a little bit more bleak.
The White
It's-
House Down surprised me because it turns a little comedic
Yeah.
in moments, mostly because of Tatum and Fox being
Yeah.
the actors. But yeah.
And even the twist at the end when the fucking 14th guy becomes president of America in the 2-hour event.
Yeah.
He's like, "Hey, you got no proof. You can't catch me."
Yeah.
And it's so silly, man. And they're like, rah. I cannot believe, Mr. President.
You know what you just said there, that rah? That's exactly what everyone says when Donald Trump got elected again.
rah.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just because the Has Fallen series, now a classic work of cinema
Fuck.
art. Yeah, like I've actually never seen those movies either, and we do want to cover them at some point. But
Yeah.
I've heard that it is like Gerard Butler is just kind of like, I have a knife, and I'm in the White House.
I have a
Yeah.
knife.
Yeah. Whereas like in this movie, it's like Jamie Foxx is like, not these leather shoes, Jordans,
No, but Jamie
Am I
Foxx
right,
is also
ladies?
like, I lost the rocket launcher,
which is funny. Yeah.
which is fucking great. They
There's
should-
like, there's aspects of this film where like I love how invulnerable the terrorists are.
yeah.
In, like so many aspects. Like
my God.
like Jason Clarke storms the White House with like 6 other guys.
Yes.
And then Channing Tatum kills about 15 to 20 people, and there's still like 4 left at the
There's
end.
still more guys.
Yeah.
Maybe there were more guys already in there, you
I
know?
think when he invites in the rednecky guy with the vest and the mustache,
Yeah.
I think he invites more people in.
He's
and then
got a
it's,
team.
It's a little more vague
Yeah.
how many people are on B team, but it is like it can't be that many. But then yeah, like the moment when like the tank just like rolls through and like blows off the top of the White House, and they're all just like, "Ooh, that
Oh, dust that off.
that nearly hit me."
Did
over
you
there.
feel
Are
that?
you okay? Yeah.
Did you feel it? I felt a little tickle.
Ooh, did something fire at us?
Come
and then
on.
of course my favorite scene is when Delta Force is just like the most like one of the most deadly fighting forces in America. They're like so deadly. They don't officially exist.
Wow.
And they're just like, what's your plan? It's like, we're going to drive the helicopters right at the thing. Just straight at it.
And they get fucking blasted in like 2 seconds.
And which is the particularly egregious part of that is that earlier in the film, which I think is like actually a kind of a cool, like 10-second scene.
Yeah.
There's these news helicopters that are kind of soaring into the White House.
Yeah.
And then the newscaster is talking, but you're watching him, and then you see there's something shooting at them from the White House roof, which is cool because you're like, oh shit, like they're getting shot at. And they get shot down, and then Delta Force is like, we're going to do exactly what the news cameras
Come on, man. Come on.
Yeah. It's, I mean, I didn't say it was good. I just said it was entertaining. But
also, they would never fucking shoot at a news helicopter.
Hey, why not?
They make it seem like, hey, if you come close to the White House, we're going to act all willy-nilly. You don't know.
Yeah.
We might shoot you.
That's because you're fucking engrossed with the lamestream media.
That's
babe.
true. That's true.
God.
Sorry, I've been cucked by media.
Beta cock energy, my co-talent over here.
Sorry. What do you think the C in CNN stands for, babe? It's News Network, all right?
News Network.
That's how we're doing it.
The sad thing is I think people have made that joke like and thought like genuinely they're like, that's so fucking funny, man. Yeah.
Got him.
And the F in Fox stands for fertile. Something, I don't know. Yeah.
Oh, we all know what the X stands for, though. So, jeez.
Excellent.
Yay.
You have anything more about this? We can talk about the plot.
Let's get into
Let's
it.
talk about some scenes in the film.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the first 10 minutes are the same 10 minutes of most Roland Emmerich films. There's a Channing Tatum. He's a divorced guy. He's a Capitol Police detail for Richard Jenkins' character.
Yes.
And he wants to be Secret Service. He wants to be like on the president's squad, who are called the Secret Service. Yes. As far as I know.
He wants to be the president's squad.
If CNN is to be believed, they're called the Secret Service. And he's divorced to the lady
to Victoria from Twilight.
Victoria from Twilight.
Yeah.
And she seems to be a hippie with no job because she's just hanging out all day. Joey King is the kid. She's from Bullet Train. She's quite good in this. I truly do think like for a young child role, she's pretty good.
Was this her first film, you think?
No, I think she'd done 45 films before this.
Holy shit.
No, I don't know.
Oh, what the heck? She's like the most busiest baby in Hollywood. Like,
she's they're like, bring that little English freak in. She had an American accent by the time she was 3.
Classic.
Yeah, and so he wants to be someone pulls a favor to get him an interview even though he's clearly not qualified. And he comes in and Maggie Gyllenhaal is like, you're clearly not qualified for this. I'm the head of the Secret Service. I say so. We went to college together. I feel like there was meant to be a little love plot with them, but then they spend all of the movie separated.
Yeah.
And I have a feeling a lot of that shit was cut or just like excised from the script or something.
But they come together at the end.
Yeah.
And it's not even, they don't even talk about it. They're just like, oh, he lived, so I guess.
Yeah. And then the tour guide bones Victoria, starts getting in on Victoria from Twilight's kind of hoo-ha, whatever. And so he does the interview and they're like, you're clearly not qualified for this. And he's like, but I want it really bad. And so as the audience, you're like, come on, give him a chance.
Just give him the Secret Service guy.
Give him a chance. Like,
detail.
come on, how bad could it be?
Just do it.
How bad could he be?
It's just the White House.
There's like, it's not like anything bad has ever happened to a president.
Easy.
Ever.
No.
Yeah. So, and then he goes on a tour with Joey King because she wants to go on a tour because she's a big White House nerd. She's an American history nerd.
Huge nerd.
And at that moment, Jason Clarke and his mercenaries who have like dressed up as cleaning people, because that's how you get into the White House, they attack the White House, but at the same time they detonate a bomb at the Capitol to distract from the White House. And then they kind of take the White House, they take down the security, they take the roof, and what do they want? They want money. Their first demand is they want $400 million.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is all a distraction because they bring in Jimmy Simpson and they're like, hack the White House and delete all of the OneDrive files.
He's coming in here like, how to control alt delete.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm trying to fucking David Blaine this bitch, but White House still
It's like,
here.
make sure you delete everything from the recycling bin too. And then you can't recover it. My favorite, like I said this to you while we were watching it, but like my favorite part was like Jimmy Simpson is like, this is the greatest hack in history. And I was like, you needed far more than hacking to do this hack.
Come on, man.
Like you needed to literally be there. So it's not really the greatest hack in history.
Also, what you hacking?
Yeah. It's like if a
What you
basketball player
hacking?
was like, I'm about to do the greatest dunk, and all of his teammates like put him on their shoulders and he just slammed it in the basket. Like it's, this is not, doesn't make any sense. So he's hacking the White House for, I don't even remember why, what he's doing. He's like deleting their
I think
service
he's
records.
overwriting some stuff where he would have passwords to doors that need a code.
Yeah, but we
That
also find out Jason Clarke is ex Delta Force, and all of his cronies are also ex U.S. servicemen. I think.
Yeah, they
Or
are all like super qualified.
Some of them are, but
with
I
the
think
gun.
he's like maybe deleting their service records because they also showed up on these like intelligence reports as people who you should really worry about. And the reason you should worry about them is because they would invade the White House given the chance. And then they do that. So that's a failure of Secret Service to not really see that coming, but it's not like they've ever failed before.
What are you doing keeping records in the White House, bro? Put it in the cloud.
Yeah. Put it on like Dropbox or something.
Put it somewhere where they're like, oh, what? You can't insurgents the cloud.
Surely Google Drive is a better place for all this. Anyway, so, and then James Woods, he's like the head of White House Security or Secret Service. He's retiring that day.
Yes.
But it turns out he's the actual mastermind behind all this. So the White House gets locked down. The president is still inside. So is Joey King. So is Channing Tatum. Channing Tatum ends up finding the president and is like, hey, I'll get you out of here. He doesn't know his daughter is still in the White House. They end up going in the tunnels, but the tunnels are rigged with explosives, so they can't leave. And so Jamie Foxx is like, we're in this together. Then they try to leave in the limo. That doesn't work. Delta Force tries to attack the White House. That doesn't work.
They're coming from land, sea, air. They got Captain America all over this bitch.
Yeah. They should have called them. And it winds down to being, okay, so they think Fox dies. So they swear in the vice president. Mm-hmm. The vice president is killed when Air Force One is attacked.
Blown
Jimmy Simpson launches an ICBM or a missile, an ICBM or something at Air Force One and blows it up. Richard Jenkins, Secretary of State, becomes the president. He's sworn in as the president.
Yes.
Fox and Tatum confront Woods, and Woods is like we said earlier, he's like, no, my son died for a noble cause, but I'm so angry about Iran because...
Well, he died for nothing because Iran still exists. Why can't you hack Iran and delete them?
He's clearly never had Persian food because it's really good. He really desperately needs to have some saffron.
He doesn't seem like he can handle the heat.
He needs some tadig and a little bit of meat skewer or whatever thing.
Oh, hell yeah.
You ever had tadig? Do you know what that is?
No.
Oh.
Is it a spice?
You would love this as an Indian.
Ooh.
It's so anti-Indian in a way that you would actually might think it's weird. But like it's a big thing in Iran. They make tons of rice.
Yep.
And tadig is like they put a pot of rice on and then they like poke holes in the rice and usually I think they put butter in it. I never really figured out how they make it. But they heat the rice until the bottom bit is like a crust.
Oh, I see. And
then they
upside
flip
down.
it, and then you get the crust on the top of the rice, and it's like delicious. And then sometimes, at least my ex-girlfriend's mom did this. Like you put layered of sliced potatoes, and you get the fried potatoes.
Shit.
Pretty fucking cool. It's a very Persian thing.
God damn, that sounds
really good. And obviously, James Woods should have tried that before he decided to. That rice with like saffron and barberries. Oh man, that shit is fucking bomb ass.
Oh my
and the
God.
roast chicken. Come on. Get
Are
out.
we about to move to Iran? Because I'm ready for a meal.
I don't think so.
Maybe not move. Maybe
there's
not
a couple. There's a couple Persian people in this city that we could, hang out with. We'll go to perhaps a restaurant.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, but they confront Woods. He wants to launch a nuke at Iran. They stop him, and in the meantime, the ticking clock is that the brilliant U.S. Air Force is like, what if we just bomb the White House with everyone inside? And America's like, yeah.
They're all immediately, They all have their favorite painting of the White House burning down.
Jenkins is on board with it because Turns out
Dun dun dun.
he was the man on the inside
My God.
with James Woods.
Not Inside Jenkins.
And Inside Richard Jenkins. I love that album. It's so good.
Yeah.
But yeah, so in exchange for him becoming the president, Woods could do what he wanted, which was like, and then Jenkins, he's also like, Jenkins becoming the president, he would inherit like the shittiest job. He would be like, oh, so now we're just at nuclear war with Iran. This is awesome.
But he wanted it. He wanted that shit. He was like,
so.
well, we could eat everybody's lunch because we are a $700 billion industry where we're made of guns.
700 billion is very conservative. I think it's way more than
Is
that.
it? Well,
I think it's like 2 trillion.
Fuck, man.
Something crazy like that. Yeah.
Was it already 2 trillion back in 22? Oh my God. Yeah. Why not?
Who cares? It's a
Why
lot.
not?
But you know what, though? The great people at Elon Musk's Doge will be cutting from the military.
Good.
Just cutting it to the bone.
From his heart to yours.
Yep.
It's
Everyone's heart.
that's where it's going.
It's great presidency.
Yeah.
At this point, I would fucking rather have Richard Jenkins, I think, than...
Actually,
Yeah.
yes. Actually, yes.
And Tatum figures that out.
Mm-hmm.
He hides Jamie Foxx, and then Jamie Foxx confronts Jenkins, and they like kick him in the balls or something on the White House lawn.
Yes.
I think they should have like suplexed him on the White House lawn, just like done like a DDT or something. Yeah, and obviously, Channing Tatum is like, phew. It was really tiring saving America today. And then Jamie Foxx is like, motherfucker, get back to work.
Yeah,
You're on my security detail.
Get up.
You're now a Secret Serviceman. And they go fly past the Lincoln Memorial.
The adrenaline's still going.
Yeah.
Wow,
And,
man. So much happens.
Yeah.
So much happens, and all of it feels believable. And you like, when you're immersed in an Emmerich world, you just accept it at face value. Don't fight it. Don't be that guy.
He's so like, it's so funny. Like this movie was written by James Vanderbilt, who wrote Zodiac.
Oh my God.
Which is like, Zodiac is such a good script. And this, like, James Vanderbilt has written good movies. And they like bought this script for like $3 million.
Shit.
And I don't care much for the writing in this film. Like, it's a perfectly fine, like I said, it's Air Force One on the ground, and that's like great. Air Force One is like one of the best action movies ever made. This movie is like, Emmerich has tendencies like Michael Bay, where he's just like, let's fucking go totally apeshit on everything.
Yeah.
And
yes,
that works, I think, for this film ultimately. Like,
but you made a great point about the philosophy that Michael Bay has with America versus Roland Emmerich has with America, and it's just more fun to watch a Roland Emmerich film because it feels true.
It's so weird. Michael Bay incorporates a lot more humor into the film itself.
Yes. Yeah.
But he seems to take the films more seriously.
Yeah, it's a drama.
Emmerich seems to, I saw someone in a review I read be like, Roland Emmerich seems to be in on the joke of his silliness of his films. Mm-hmm. And yet the films are typically not very funny. They're actually self-serious in a way.
Yeah.
And Roland Emmerich is like, yeah, but this situation is goofy. Like it's like he's
Totally.
doing like a parody or a satire.
Yeah.
And Michael Bay is trying to make a action comedy.
Yeah.
And I find it really fascinating. I don't know, like, yeah. But then, like, but Emmerich he made like that Midway film a couple of years ago, and that looked very self-serious. But like, I don't know. Yeah.
Oh, I feel like there's a guy who should play Rudy Giuliani in all of these type of films.
Richard Jenkins.
But more schlubby, you know. We need the guy. There's never the guy who's like gross and like.
I don't know if anyone could access a level of schlub enough to play Rudy Giuliani.
They just gotta get him. They gotta convince him to be like, it's about democracy, and he'll be like, yeah, you know how I feel about that.
Like they could get Richard Jenkins being the most disgusting version of himself, and they're still just like, this isn't working. He's regal in comparison. Like,
they got to get the guy who dies of gluttony in 7. They got to put a tie on him and be like, all right, Mr. Giuliani, let's go.
Yeah. I mean, hey, Borat managed to get him to perform.
Fuck, dude, that's right.
Yeah.
Look.
And Giuliani was totally in on that one.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, good times. Good
You know what
times.
is a good time? White House Down.
Yeah, baby.
I fully recommend it.
What a great experience for you to watch it as a fully grown adult
Yeah.
for the first time.
I mean, I think it's a movie made for and by adults.
Because when we saw it, we were like, oh, what a silly plot. Nothing like this could ever happen to America. We were fools.
Yeah.
And so I watched a film, but you watched a documentary.
You watched a film and I had an experience.
Hell yeah.
And that's the kind of life I live.
Damn.
Thank you for listening.
It's been the low ceiling.
It has been the low ceiling. I've been John.
I've been Pri.
Just watch this movie. Watch The Order. The Order is a little better.
Watch The Order. Watch The Order.
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Trenchant political commentary.
Mwah. Jude Law hotter than ever.
Part where Jude Law, the part where he gets back in the car and he's like, "Listen to me.
Where were you?
When I say move, fucking move." It's great. Yeah.
Quality.
Yeah. And Ty Sheridan's amazing in that too, and so is Journey Smollett.
Yeah, dude.
I like that movie a lot. Justin Kurzel, good director. Jed Kurzel, his brother, good composer. He made the fucking score
really
for Alien Covenant, and that's a great score. I love it. And like I said, I've been John.
God.
You've been Pri. It has been the low ceiling. Goodbye.
Bye.